We'll start with the next topic that is already we have studied about this, that is user datagram protocol and TCP transmission control protocol. What is user datagram protocol? Very, very important point for user datagram protocol is it is what? Connectionless oriented protocol, that is called as user datagram protocol. Is there any dedicated path is mentioned in this user datagram protocol? No, there is no dedicated link. There is no dedicated path has been mentioned in UDP protocols. But in TCP, transmission control protocol, that is connection oriented protocol, that is called as what? Connection oriented protocol, TCP. User datagram protocol is connectionless oriented protocol. What is the main use of this user datagram protocol is any packet, any data, or any information can take place any route to reach a particular destination. That is what one of the advantage for user datagram protocol. It is the simplest transport layer communication protocol. Okay. The main advantage of this user datagram protocol is the any packet, any data, or any information can take any route or any path to reach a particular destination, that is called as user datagram protocol. Okay. It has been mentioned. It's not at all mentioned you have to take this route itself. You have to go by this route itself. No. Any packet, if the route is free, if the connection is free, immediately that packet has reached to the particular destination by taking any of the route. It is not having a handshaking. If you handshaking is nothing but what? You're doing the handshaking, that is connection is there between two person. There is a connection is there between two person. There is no handshaking between the sender and the receiver. But in TCP, there is a handshaking between the sender and receiver. Getting the point? Handshaking is not present. There is no connection between the sender and the receiver, but there is a connection between the sender and receiver and TCP protocol. Okay. It is not going to send any acknowledgement for the receiver packet. This is what one of the disadvantage. Why? Because continuously it is started sending the packets. Continuously it started sending the data. Continuously it started sending the information. It does not wait till the acknowledgement has to become from the receiver side. So the work of this user datagram protocol is to start sending the packets. Why? Because it is having more and more number of routes. It is having more and more number of links to send the particular packets. So it is does not worry about the particular acknowledgement which is receiving, which is getting from the receiver end. But in TCP protocol, it is not going to happen. It has to wait for a acknowledgement. If you are sending one packet, the packet number one has been reached at the particular receiver. Till the acknowledgement has been come from the receiver end, the another packet will not be sent. That is that is has to be going on in TCP. But in UDP protocol, it is not going to happen. In UDP protocol, it is not going to happen. Why? Because continuously it is started sending the packets. Continuously it is started sending the packets. It does not wait for a particular acknowledgement, and it is getting the acknowledgement, but not, it is not going to wait for packet 1, packet 2, packet 3, packet 4. At any time, any of the packet acknowledgement has been getting at the sender side. If any packet has been discarded in between, if any packet has been discarded in between, at that time, sender has to retransmit that particular packet to the particular receiver, and that has to be done by this user datagram protocol. Got it? What are the segments we are using in this user datagram protocol? Which are the segments? Okay. User header format we are using in this. Which is that? Header and data. We are using total. The number of ports present in this user datagram protocol is 16 bits. And same, the 16 bits has been present in destination ports. Length, we are going to mention that is of 16 bits. And checksum is nothing but if there is any error is there, you have to check it and you have to recorrect it. Okay, error detection and error correction method we are using in this, that is CRC, cyclic redundancy check, we are going to use in this UDP protocol. Okay, each UDP segment is handled individually of others as each segment takes different paths to reach the destination. Means what? We are having millions and trillions of routes. Those routes has to be taken individual packets. Individual packet has to be take a particular individual route. If that packet has been reached at the particular receiver or not, that has to be taken care by this UDP. If UDP segments can be lost or delivered out of order to reach the destination, as there is no connection setup between the sender and receiver. We already known that there is no connection. It is a connection-less oriented protocol. So if any of the packet has been lost in between, it is not going to take care of this. Okay, it is not going to take care of this. It is started sending the packets. At the end of the time, at the end of the moment, it came to know that how many packets has been lost in between. How many packets has been lost in between. Okay, at that time, okay, packet number 1 or packet number 2 or packet number 3. Packet number 3 has been lost at this time of transmission. So I have to retransmit that packet number 3. That has to be taken care by this UDP. That has to be taken care by this UDP protocol. Got it? UDP is unreliable protocol, and we still require a UDP protocol in some cases. Whatever you are using the internet, is this connection is there? Is this connection oriented? No, it is not a connection oriented. It is a connection less oriented. At any moment and any time, at any location, we have started using that particular internet. We have started downloading the particular videos. We have started attending the lectures at any time, at any place. If you have a particular network, is this a connection oriented? No, it is a connection less oriented. So it is unreliable. We can't put a faith on this particular UDP protocol. Why? Because at any time, any of the information be lost. At any time, the information be lost. So we can't put the belief on this particular UDP protocol. If the data is good, if the network is good, immediately the action is taken place. Okay. The UDP is deployed where the packets require a large amount of bandwidth along with the actual data. UDP is going to have a larger bandwidth as compared to the TCP. Why? Because we are sending the particular packets in a different routes. Multiple number of packets we are sending, not individual packets. At a time, we are sending the multiple number of packets, so that we require large amount of bandwidth to send a particular packet. For example, video streaming. If you want to started downloading or started watching the particular video in the particular using your internet, it is going to take a large number of data. Why? Because the bandwidth required for that video is very high. The bandwidth of that particular video is very high. If you start downloading one movie, it takes a minimum of data. Why? Because that movie has a maximum number of bandwidth. Okay, that is what you require a larger amount of bandwidth if you have actual data. So this is what we are using. Already we have seen the particular ports in the particular header footer, that is a source port, destination port, how much is the length required, what is the checksum of this. It is a 16-bit information that identify which port is going to send the packet. You can see, for example, is that you can consider the switch. Consider a switch. Okay, a switch has a 32-bit. Switch has 32-bit. 8-bit is there, 16-bit is there, 32-bit is there, 64-bit is there, 128-bit is there. Switch has the multiple number of bits. If you have a smaller server, if you have a small number of computers in a particular labs, we require small switch. 8-bit, 8 number of ports, 16 number of ports, 32 number of ports, 64 number of ports, 128 number of ports. So this is what, if it is 16 number of ports, this is a 16 number of switches there. Each switch is connected to the individual computer. Each switch is connected to the individual computer. Okay, that is what dedicated is there. Dedicated is there. I'm giving you the examples. Dedicated switch is connected to the individual computer, so that the dedicated link is been connected for the particular switch, particular computer. That is what 16-bit information is that identify which port is connected to the which packet. We have started sending the packet number 1 by port number 1, or you can start sending the packet number 3 to the port number 3. That is also applicable, because it is a connection less oriented. There is no connection is there. There is no connection is there. So that is what we can send any of the packet to any of the port. That has to be identified first. Which packet has to be sent to the which bit, which port, that has to be identified by source. And destination port, it identifies which is port is going to accept the information. The same ports, the same 16-bit port is being present in the destination also. Destination also. And destination, which port is free? Which port is free? It has to get the exceptions, acceptance. Okay. And it has to be came to know that this bit, this port has received the particular packet. You are sending the packet number 1 by port number 1 to the source. And that packet has been received by the packet number, port number 16. That has to be identified. That has to be identified. So packet number 1 from the port 1 from the source, and packet number 16 from the port 16 from the destination has been received. Has been received. So that is what that is what identified. Okay, it is a 16-bit information which is used to identify application level service to the destination machine. What is the length of this? What is the length of this? It is 8 byte or 16 byte. It is 8 byte or 16 byte, that has to be taken care of over here. What is a checksum? The checksum is nothing but it is a you have to carry out whether it is a error oriented or errorless oriented data or packet. Okay, that has to be done in this checksum. And the next bit we are going to say is transmission control protocol. Transmission control protocol. What you have seen in UDP? What you have seen in UDP? It is a connectionless oriented. Is this reliable? No, it is not at all reliable. It is not at all reliable. The TCP is highly reliable. We can put a faith on this particular protocol. Why? Because it is a connection oriented. It is a connection oriented. It is a handshaking protocol. If you have to do the handshake between two persons, the hands are connected to each other. The two hands are connected to each other. What is that? What is that? That is connection oriented. That is what? Connection oriented. Is there any loss in between this? Is there any break between that particular source to the destination from sender to the receiver? No. No breaking has been taken place from the sender to the receiver. That has to be used in this transmission control protocol. It is a connection oriented protocol. It is highly reliable, high quality. There should be end-to-end communication has been taken place. And one more advantage for this transmission control protocol is whatever the packet has been received at the particular destination or at the particular receiver, you are getting the acknowledgement. That is one of the most important advantage. If you're getting the advantage, if you're getting the acknowledgement from the receiver side, there should not be any problem. So whatever the data is there, that data has been reached to the particular destination. That has to be taken care by this transmission control protocol. Transmission control protocol. The transmission control protocol is one of the most important protocols of internet protocol. It is most widely used protocol for data transmission is in communication networks such as internet. We are using the LAN connectivity in our labs. Is that connection oriented? Yes. Is that connection oriented? Yes. The one computer is connected to the another computer. That LAN connectivity has been physically connected to the particular switch. Okay, you are taking that particular LAN connectivity through wire, coaxial wires, and that is to be connected to the particular port. That is physically you are connecting. That is connection oriented is that. Is there any possibility of loss in the particular packet? Is there any possibility of loss in the particular data? Is there any possibility of loss in the particular information? No, never. But only one disadvantage is that the particular packet has to wait for a minimum or maximum amount of time till that the cable will get free. If it is busy, you can't send a particular packet till that packet has to reach the particular destination or a receiver, and the another packet has to wait for a minimum amount of time. If you started sending continuously, the two packets will collide with each other in between the cables, and it is got discarded. The particular packets has been discarded in the particular cable. So it has to be taken care by this. Only one disadvantage is the delay is more in this. Delay has to be taken care. Okay. And you have to do physical work in this disadvantage. You have to connect from one point to another point. That takes some more time. That is going to take a more time. One of the disadvantage for this. What are the features? The TCP is highly reliable. The receiver always sends either positive or negative acknowledgement about the data packets to the sender. Positive acknowledgement is nothing but what? The packet has been reached the particular destination, so that acknowledgement has been received. Negative acknowledgement also it can send. How? Because whatever the packet is there, that is, I think it has been discarded in between. Still, it has been not reached at the particular receiver, so you have to retransmit back. So the sender always has a bright clue about whether the data packet is reached the destination or it needs to resend it. It needs to resend is nothing but what? Whatever the packet has been sent, that packet has been lost in between. So I have to retransmit that particular packet. That has to be done in this TCP. And TCP is going to ensure that data reaches intended destination in the same order it was sent. It is not going to happen in UDP. Whatever the packets you are sending from 1 to 4, first 1 has been reached, second has been reached, third has been reached, and fourth has been reached. The same packets has been reached in order, but in UDP it is not going to happen in this. Any packet has been reached at any time. At the receiver end, you have to reassemble it. You have to reassemble it, all those packets, and you have to make it in a order wise. That takes a time at the receiver side in UDP. But in TCP side, whatever the packets you are sending by order, those orders has been reached at a particular destination. That is one of the advantage for this TCP. It is a connection oriented. It is requires a connection between the two remote points. Two remote points is nothing but from one end to the another end. From sender to the receiver, it requires a connection. Not a connectionless. TCP is going to provide error checking and recovery mechanism. Always we are using both the protocols, that is in UDP and TCP. We are going to use CRC protocol, that is cyclic redundancy check. TCP is going to provide end-to-end communication. So that we can call it as a handshaking protocol. End-to-end connection is there between the sender and the receiver. It is going to provide flow control and quality of service. Flow control is nothing but whatever the speed is there for the sender side, and the same speed has to maintain at the receiver side. Getting the point? That is what flow control. Quality of service. Quality of service is nothing but there is no any discarded packet has been taken place in between. almost all the packets has been reached to the particular destination. But in some cases, some of the packets has been get collision in between and it may lost. Okay, that is what one of the advantage. TCP operates in client server point-to-point mode. Server is nothing but what? The main server has been present at a particular location, and thus that server is going to monitor everything in that particular LAN connectivity. It is a full duplex. It conforms the rules of both receiver and the sender. That is one of the advantage of this TCP. How it is working? Already we know those. Already we know this. Okay. It is a connection is established by using a three-way handshaking. You are saying this. There is a client. There is a server. There is a client. There is a server. Once it is synchronization has been taken place, started sending. It is in active, open, passive. The data has been sent. This said data has been sent. It is reached as a server, and this server is going to provide the acknowledgement with data, and it is going to provide only the acknowledgement, because what, this side the client is not having any data to send with the next step. So it is sending only the acknowledgement. It is sending only the acknowledgement. Same thing has been written over here. The client sends the segment with its sequence number. The server in return sets its segment with its own sequence number. Means what? At the both the sides it is having the data. The both the sides is having a packets. If it is having only 2 packets, if it is having only 1 packet to send from the server to the client, it is sending by with acknowledgement. It is also sending with acknowledgement to the sequence number. Both the sides, the full duplex operation has been taken place. This is what called a full duplex. That is what we are going to call as full duplex. Okay. The number, the packet with acknowledgement, that has to be received at the particular receiver or at the sender also. Okay. When a client receives the acknowledgement of its segments, then it sends the acknowledgement to the server. Same, both are working on the same way. Connection is established between the client and a server. What are the advantages? It is connection oriented, so it is highly reliable. There is no loss in the packet has been taken place in between. It is going to provide a flow control mechanism. Flow control mechanism using the sliding window protocol. What is the meaning of sliding window protocol? Flow control is nothing but what? But at a one time, one packet has to send till we get the acknowledgement from the receiver side. The another packet has to wait for some amount of time. That has to be taken care in this flow control mechanism. Continuously we can't send the packets. Continuously we can't send the data. Continuously we can't send the particular information. That has to be taken care by this. We are going to use error checking, error correction and detection protocols. One of the disadvantages is what? It increases the large amount of overhead as each segment gets its own TCP header. So fragmentation by the routers increase the overhead. So that is what? At any time, at individual time, it is going to have, you have to mention the particular header in that particular packet. It is connection oriented. So you have to mention the particular name and the destination for each packet. So that is what one of the disadvantage we can call. That is what one of the disadvantage we can call. Okay. This is what one of the diagram you can see over here. That is how we are going to see the TCP header formats. That is header and the data. One is source port, destination port, sequence number, acknowledgement number. Okay. Next, reserved. Some of the reserved packets are there. It is also 16 bits. Okay. Source, what is it going to have in this? That is source port is 16 bit and destination port is also 16 bit. If 16 bit is there, port 1 is connected to the port 1 of the port 1 of the destination only. Port 2 is connected to the port 2 of the destination only. Okay. With that, the full duplex operation has to be taken place. The full duplex operation has to be taken place while sending, and it is going to receive, and in receiving receiver has to send and a sender has to receive. So duplex operation has to be taken place in this TCP format. In this TCP format. Got it? Got it? And this one was some of the already window size, how much we required, and reset button, synchronization, push button, acknowledgement. Till we can't receive the particular acknowledgement, we can't send the next packet. We can't send the next packet. Got it? And the last point of this unit is TCP practical applications. We already studied this, where we are using this. See, very, very important point, very, very important configurations, very, very important protocols. We can say this transmission control protocol. Some of the applications we are using, that is DHCP, dynamic host configuration protocol. Dynamic host configuration protocol. What is it doing? It is going to assign the particular IP addresses to the particular person or particular PC, particular devices, particular laptops, everything that has to be done by DHCP. If you want, you can write it down. At the time of interview, they will ask you the question, what is the meaning of DHCP? DHCP, that is dynamic host configuration protocol. What is the function of this? What is the operation of this? It is going to assign the IP addresses, whatever this is, IPv4 and IPv6. Okay, that is the main functionality of this, is to use, to assign particular IP address to the particular devices. That has to be done by this DHCP. DNS, domain name system, translates website's name into the IP addresses. Means what? In Google, you start typing something. Okay, you start typing the nodes of this data communication, nodes of data communication. It is not going to mention that this particular website has nodes of data communication. It is all immediately converted into that particular IP address. Got it? Got it? Just you have to type it, the nodes of data communication. Immediately in the website, at the top of that particular website, we are going to see the IP address. So that has to be done by this DNS. If you type a WhatsApp or Facebook in a particular Google, and that name has been resolved to the IP address, that name has been translated to the IP address, that has to be done by domain name system. Domain name system, it is going to translate the particular name into the IP address. That has to be done by this domain name system. What is HTTP? Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It is going to open the particular web pages. Whatever you are using in this nowadays, whatever you are typing in the particular Google, the name of that particular, it has to be opened in HTTP. That is called as a web page of that particular protocol. Facebook, WhatsApp, Google, any notes, any videos, anything, any images, map, you can type anything in the Google, that has to be present in this HTTP format. HTTP format. Good. NBNS. What is NBNS? Net BIOS name service list. It is going to represent the local host name into the IP addresses. It is going to represent the whatever the local host you can make into the IP address. You have to give that particular host to the IP address. That has to be done by this NBNS. I'm started taking the lectures. I'm the host of that in this particular lecture. So that particular IP address has been assigned to me by using this protocol, by using this application, that is NBNS. How you are going to send the mails? You are sending the many mails, that is using SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. It has to be used by one of the application, that is SMTP. Whatever the mails we are sending, whatever the mails we are receiving, that has to be used. That is one of the application, that is SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. It is to send the email messages. SNMP, Network Management. It has to manage all the networks. Main server has been present. and number of network has been given to the number of routers, and all the routers has been connected to the networks, and those networks has been connected to the main server, and this server is going to manage everything. That is a network management. Simple SNTP, simple network time protocol. It is to provide the particular time. It is going to provide a particular time to the particular destination, the particular app that has to be given by SNTP. Telnet, bidirectional text communication via terminal application. You are going to send text messages bidirectionally. You are receiving also, you are sending the particular text messages to this particular person or particular any of this text messages you are sending the text messages by typing it the email, that is using Telnet. TFTP, Travel File Transport Protocol, used to transfer the small amounts of data. Whatever the file you are transferring, okay, that has to be transferred the small amount of data. So these are one of the applications. If you want, you can write it. Very, very important applications we have. DSCP, DNS, STTP, SBNS, SMTP, SNMP, SNTP, Telnet, and TFTP. Similarly, we have already studied this. What is the meaning of dynamic host transmission protocol? Okay, we are going to assign the addresses. Whenever you are going to assign the particular IP addresses to the particular person, that has to be done by this dynamic host. What is the DNS? That is domain name system. Whatever you are typing in the particular browser, in the particular Google, that name has been converted into the IP address of that. So that is done by DNS. Hypertext transfer protocol, that has to be used in web browser. Web pages are written using HTML file. HTML. Okay, that is what hypertext. Okay, HTTP. Remember this word, hypertext transfer protocol. Hypertext transfer protocol. That is what HTTP. Okay, NetBIOS. The same points is going to study in the next unit also. Same dynamic host configuration protocol, domain name system, hypertext transfer protocol, NetBIOS name service, simple mail transfer protocol. What are the main functionality of all this has to be seen in the next unit also. It has been repeated. It has been repeated. The simple mail transfer protocol, where we are saying the simple mail transfer protocol. Okay, you are sending the many messages, that is you are sending the mails, that has to be done by using simple mail transfer protocol. Network management, that has to be done by using the routers. The different routers is having the different network ID, and those network ID has to be controlled by the network management. So that has to be done by SNMP, simple network management protocol. Simple network management protocol. And the next, simple network time protocol. You have to assign the particular time to the particular app. That has to be done in this simple network time protocol. Simple network time protocol. Bidirectional, we are sending the text messages, that has to be done by using this Telnet. Next, travel file transfer protocol. You can send any byte of data. Okay, if you want to transfer a particular bytes of data, we require a particular authentication is required, access is required, permission is required for sending the particular bytes of data. So these are what some of the applications we have seen in this particular TCP applications. Okay, thank you. We have completed the unit number 5. Okay, that is of transport layer. Transport layer. Any doubts? Any doubts? See, in this unit, the main important point you have to concentrate is IPv4, IPv6, and subnetting. Very, very important points for this. Very, very important points. IPv4, IPv6, and subnetting masking. You have to read, and you have to read it carefully. You have to do it carefully. IPv4, IPv6 and subnet masking very, very important. Got it? Got it? We'll stop today.